Hello from Cairo. This is Nile TV International. Time for top stories. I'm Mohammed Abdelmanem. Egyptian high-security sources said on Saturday that Cairo resumes efforts to reach ceasefire in Gaza and guarantee the entry of humanitarian aid to the occupied Palestinian enclave. The sources added that leaders from Palestinian Hamas and the Fatah factions met in Cairo discussing forming a committee based on a proposal put forward by Egypt. The committee would be made up of independent Palestinian figures not aligned to a particular movement, addressing the question of who would run Gaza after the year-long war is over. The sources also stressed that the meetings are a Palestinian affair and the Egyptian efforts aim only to unify the Palestinian factions and decrease the sufferings of the Palestinian people. Hamas, meanwhile, dismissed proposals of limited or temporary truces as smoke screens, highlighting that they are positively open to any proposals or ideas that ensure the cessation of aggression and the withdrawal of occupation forces from Gaza. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Migration and Expatriates Affairs Abdelatty held phone talks on Saturday with Kuwaiti counterpart Abdelatty, in which they discussed boosting bilateral relations and resuming consultations on developing cooperation in various domains for the best interests of both brotherly peoples. The two top diplomats also tackled the latest developments of the Israeli genocide war in Gaza, reviewing the Egyptian efforts to reach a ceasefire and enter humanitarian aid into the Palestinian enclave. Abdelatty and Al-Yahya also discussed efforts exerted to reach ceasefire in Lebanon, stressing the need to calm the escalating regional situation. Israel on Saturday again carried out deadly airstrikes in North Gaza, where the UN calls conditions apocalyptic, as Lebanon's Hezbollah intensified rocket fire near Israel's commercial hub of Tel Aviv on Israel's second front. Israel's military on Saturday said dozens of fighters were killed around Jabalia in aerial and ground activity. Occupation troops were also operating in central Gaza and Rafah in the territory's far south, while witnesses said Israeli drones and boats opened fire on Al-Mawasi in South Gaza. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization said 6 people, including 4 children, were hurt Saturday in a strike on a polio vaccination center in northern Gaza. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump enter the final weekend of the most tense U.S. presidential campaign of modern times, with a flurry of swing state rallies that will test their stamina and ability to persuade the country's last undecided voters. Harris, bidding to become the country's first woman president, will use rallies in Georgia, North Carolina, and Michigan to drive home her message that Trump is a threat to U.S. democracy. Trump seeking a sensational return to the White House after losing in 2020, then becoming the first presidential nominee to have been convicted of crimes, promises a radical right-wing makeover of the government and aggressive trade wars to promote his policy of America first. Back home, where Prime Minister Madbouly asserted that the state paid great attention to various industries during the current phase, especially the industries that are being implemented in the North Harafiyin region in Al-Duwai'a. The Prime Minister remarks came during his tour in a number of urban development fund projects. Madbouly began the tour by inspecting the project of establishing a complex of craft workshops and alternative housing in North Harafiyin region in Al-Duwai'a. That's all the news for now. Thanks for watching. I'm Mohammed.